Hi, I'm Belinda, the Director of the Institute of Personal Care Science, and I often get asked about sunscreen formulas as well as SPF boosters. So I've run some trials, and today I want to show you 4 of my favourites to suit an oil in water sunscreen product. Now before I start, I do want to explain that there are so many different SPF boosters out there, and some are more suited to an oil continuous phase formulation. But I didn't test those ones because what I've done today is test those materials that are particularly good in water continuous phase sunscreen emulsions. Now the reason I've done this is because it is easier to achieve a higher SPF result with an oil continuous phase. So I really wanted to challenge some SPF boosters and see which ones worked particularly well in a more challenging formulation type. Now, if you've ever worked with sunscreen formulas before, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is hard to get a really good SPF result when you're working with a water continuous phase, like in an oil in water emulsion. Now, one of the important things you need to achieve a good SPF is not only to get the wavelength protection to enable it to be a broad spectrum protection product, but it's also a lot to do with the spreadability and homogeneity of the formulation. When an SPF formula spreads well and is homogeneous in its distribution of those UV filters, you'll get the best possible SPF result. And again, this becomes very challenging in water continuous phases because a lot of your sunscreen materials are compatible with the oil continuous phase. So that's a little bit of background as to why I've made the SPF boosters in this formula to suit a more challenging product type. And of course, if you're making an oil continuous phase sunscreen formula, make sure you choose SPF boosters that are particularly suited to the oil continuous phase products for the best results as well. And you could design an experiment very much like I've done here today to find the SPF boosters that best suit your needs and give a fantastic SPF result. First, let me show you the base product that we're working with, and I'll let you know what the SPF of that base product worked out to be. So this is the base product here. It's a really nice light emulsion. I used 12% zinc oxide in my oil in water emulsion, and because it's a water continuous phase, I made a really simple formula here. Its SPF value only came out at 7.98 when tested in vitro. So that's not a great result. But I used a variety of SPF boosters to see those that would give me a fantastic boosting effect, and here's my favourites. The first material I want to introduce you to is Oleocraft MP30 by Croda. Now I used 3% of this material in my emulsion, and it boosted that SPF result to 14.08. As you can see, that is a significant SPF boost from 3% of the SPF booster. Now this material works by stabilising that oil phase. It gels the internal phase to help improve the spread. Another feature of this material is that it improved water and wear resistance, and it gave the product a nice dry feel, so it would really suit your oily or greasy skin types because it had a really nice dry feel after application, not greasy or not too heavily moisturising at all. The next material I want to introduce you to is Soltex Ino by Dow. Now this one I did need to use more of the material. I needed to use 7.5% of the material. And this gave my base formula an SPF boost to 13.39. As you can see in the image, it helps boost SPF by providing a really fine dispersion throughout the product. This material also gave the final product a really moisturising feel, so it would be great on drier skin types. Don't forget, when you're picking your SPF booster, you want to think about the target market it's going to be used for as well, which is why I'm giving you some sensory tips as I go through. Another material that gave some fantastic results was SunSpheres Regular, also by Dow. Now this material I used at 3%, and it gave a fantastic SPF boost to 13.73. As you can see from the image, it provides its SPF boosting effect through a light scattering capability. This material gave the formulation a drier finish, so it's fantastic to use for those with oilier skin types. Now the star performer out of my 4 favourites was Enteron WP220 by Ashland. Now I only needed 2% of this booster to increase my SPF to 14.92. That's almost double the original value. As you can see from the image, it provides great spread and uniformity, and this really helps give a great SPF result. It also has a really moisturising finish, so it's great where you want a more moisturising sunscreen application. Remember, you can contact us for the formulation information and names of those materials, and of course how we use them in the formula. Remember, I did start with a very basic formula because I wanted it to be quite simple and challenging to get a great SPF result. As you can see, we've found 4 fantastic materials to really boost that SPF, even in that challenging base and that water continuous phase. Just remember, if you're formulating with sunscreens, to check your local country regulations about all ingredients and SPF claims you want to make. And remember to run your own trials and get your product tested properly before releasing it into the marketplace. I hope this helps introduce you to some great SPF boosters. Just remember, there's loads more out there, especially if you're creating a product with an oil continuous phase. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave any questions or comments below, and make sure you subscribe to receive notifications about all our videos. Happy formulating!